Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
All right, my sisters. So I am currently recording this episode in my hotel room in Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. I'm visiting my parents for a couple days, and I am coming. Geez, like today is Sunday to record this. Last Sunday, a week ago. Listen, sister, when you start to live this way of being, expansion, like shit is like it's time traveling. Things happen so quickly. So a week ago, I was just getting ready, kind of prepping for the Women Wanting More live event. We were checking the hotel that afternoon. We were beginning that night. And going into the live event, I remember the phone call I had before that began, which was with my coach, amazing coach, Satema. And I said, you know, I'm not seeing a lot of stuff with what I want to do with Women Wanting More, with what I want to do with my coaching, with where I really want to take this message and this movement. And I was like beating myself going like, what the fuck? Because like a year ago, I felt more clear of what I wanted and what my vision was. And I said, now I can't really see it. When he would ask me the question of like, well, what do you want? And I was like, you know, for me, when I hear people say, I don't know, it's often a knee jerk, right? Well, I don't know. What that really often means is I'm afraid to really say what I mean. I'm afraid to tell the truth. What if what I want is like someone's going to laugh at me and they'll go, that's stupid. How could you even do that? Who are you to do this? But it was clearly like a Satema, like straight up, I don't know. I don't see it. And I talked about this in an episode a few back, which is called, I think it's The Gift of the Blank Page. I'll put that one in the show notes. And he was like, cool. So I guess you get to create whatever it is that you want. I'm like, okay, that is a different way of seeing it. I like that better versus, oh my God, I should know. How come I can't see? And asking the wrong questions. It was just, where would I like to go from here? How would I like to create it? And what most people actually see, I'm going to get up and actually walk around. I think best when I move, sister. This is why I record a lot of podcast episodes when I'm walking outside. So, but here in Waterloo, it's fucking cold. I moved from Alberta, where it's super cold, to Victoria, BC, where it's never really below zero, and it's lovely, and, you know, it's just nice. Rarely any snow, till, like, it feels like freezing cold here. So I'm not walking outside today. Didn't bring the proper gear for that. However, for most people, what they will often think is they have to have all the how figured out before they can take action. Like they have to have the plan in place before they actually do it. And the live event, which I'll get to in a moment, helped me see something different, helped me really remind that. But, you know, I'm going through my journal this morning. I'm looking back. And I have a journal that actually has some older entries in here. And so I've kind of combined it with me journaling. I've done positive focuses in here. And I'm looking back on things that I did like a gratitude practice for about 90 days back in 2016. It was probably the second quarter. And I suddenly felt like I was from New York that quarter. And it was around the time that we were getting ready to move from Alberta to BC. And I'm reading my journal entries. Usually just like a page. It takes me like 5-10 minutes. And I'm journaling stuff about how like, holy shit, we're doing this. It's 8 sleeps away. It's 15 sleeps away. It's 1 sleep away. We packed up our kids, dogs, drove to BC, sold our house, closed the doors of a chiropractic practice. I walked away from network marketing. We sold a lot of our shit. We sold one of our cars, and we're like, we're just going. Because we're taking all of our chips, and we're putting it on Victoria, BC. We're putting it like red 34, if you're a gambler, roulette wheel. And it was scary. It was scary. We didn't have it all worked out. It was a feeling. It was the voice saying, you need to do this. It sounds kind of kooky, right? It's like I told the woman at the live event that I had just last week that it's like that voice. You know the movie Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner? If you haven't seen Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner, oh my God, you need to go fucking watch that right now. But he has a voice that speaks to him. And the first voice that it says is, build it, they will come. If you watch the movie, he builds a baseball field, and it sounds all crazy, in a cornfield, and I think it was Iowa is where it takes place, somewhere in the Midwest. And it was simply that, sister. It was a voice. It was a calling, like, this is what you need to do. And we didn't have everything all worked out. People think it's ready, aim, fire, right? No, it's fire, aim. It's fire, aim. Shoot first. Now, do you go into situations and do things like we did and have like zero plan, right? Well, no, of course not. We wouldn't just pack up our kids, leave all our shit in the old house and just like leave it and like move to Victoria, not have a place to stay. Of course not. There were some things that fell into place, but not all the pieces. And this was Ed and I leaving our profession of chiropractic and really going all in with both of our coaching practices. And my husband Ed creates a lot of online products for chiropractors and other entrepreneurs that want to really take a business online and take their message. And he's brilliant at it. And it never would have happened if we didn't do it first. So here's something that Satema said, and then it morphed into this. When I wrote this down, this is what I want to podcast about, is when you be, you can see. So just think about that for a second. When you be, you can see. See, it takes action, sister, often for you to know what to do next. It takes taking a step into, as Gary J. White from where I used to talk about the void, of not knowing where that is and taking that jump. Not even a jump. It's just like a fucking step, right? When you be, you can see. So my experience with the live event, my first live event was 6 women. This one was 3. Okay, now one wasn't able to make it. She had some medical stuff that came up and was in the hospital, so now it's 2. Now, not that I'm going to discount the experience. Let me first preface this. This was not to downplay the 2 amazing women. Shout out to Nashira and Julie that were there and the experience that we had, which was incredible. But in my mind, I went from 6 from the first one down to a deuce. And went, fuck. But I've been promoting this one more, and now I have a movie from the first one and showing women and showing results and all this stuff. It's like, why isn't this bigger? And it was like, I just got to a point where I would get frustrated, and I go, it's okay. And then I get frustrated and say, it's okay. And I go back and forth like a crazy woman until I finally just said, you know what? I surrender. I surrender. There's something for me to see in this that I don't see. And what that very intimate with the 2 women experience, very intense experience, very incredible experience, very different from the first one. I mean, of course, it's different women, right? I'm different. I mean, all these things are going to make the experience not the same. In any future live event I have, they will never be the same. They will always be different for those reasons. But me just being so present with these women, me just listening into the voice even more than I had for the first one. Like, again, just all my chips in. I'm going to be, since I am just going to be, because just downplays it, I'm going to be present as a motherfucker for these women and serve and deliver and lead them and help them. Help them get whatever that they wanted coming into this live event and more. And it was interesting. And then at the end of that, and I think my call was September. Yeah, it was the very next day. Finished Tuesday night, like again, expansion. Whew. Finished Tuesday night, late, got home. Have been home Wednesday, Thursday, hopped on a plane Friday, and here I am now Sunday, so to fly up to see my parents, who are not doing very well right now. And it was the very next day that I had my coaching call with Satema. I had to bump it up early with my travel plans. And I said to him, I was like, I see it now. I see what I want. See, and it wasn't when you be, you will see. It wasn't until I said, look, I'm going to go into this being like, I don't know where I see things past this right now. It's the blank page. And I was absolutely okay with that. It allowed me to create it. And it didn't happen until I be. Didn't happen until I said, I'm just going to be present and here for these women. And not with the intention either of like, okay, I'm going to take action and then I'll get what I want. Like when I do A, go through live event, be who I need to be, then I'll be able to see stuff. I didn't have that expectation at all. I was just simply doing the work that was in front of me, serving these women, delivering for these women, being there for these women, being present. Being. When you be, you will see. And so I see it now. And as I write out this morning for my other coach, Colbin, my business coach, of what is my vision? What is my mission? What do I do? How would I describe myself? What makes me different? And really writing this down and getting ready for our call we have together this coming week. And what are the different things that women can do? You know, you listen to this podcast. What are some of the things? I started coaching when women just started saying, like, long enough, like, are you coaching or coaching? I'm like, fine, I'm coaching, and it's this amount of money. And it was a higher end. And then I doubled it. And then I said, this is all I got. I got this and I got that. And there's a lot of you that were listening, maybe even applying. It's like, you just weren't there. And at the time I was like, well, I only want to work with women who are at this level. Otherwise, you got the podcast and like, there you go. And I realized working with some incredible people, being mentored by some amazing successful entrepreneurs and visionaries out there, and really just watching them was like, you know what? I need to have other things that are available. So hence the book that I've mentioned that's coming out soon. Hence my Woman Wanting More Live. This will be an annual event where the ticket price will be so inexpensive. All of you can get out there to Vancouver for a one-day event. I mean, imagine being with other women, a couple hundred of you, in a room, energy, intense, really learning what I teach in a one-day program. Like, how incredible is that going to be? And that's going to be in June. I see how my group masterminds will be. I see how my one-on-one coaching will be. I can see that there'll be another offering of a one-day intensive for some women that just say, look, I'm going to pay you this money to do what you do and be with you for an entire day, like just one-on-one with me. I see it all. I see all these different pieces in place. I see Facebook groups. I see all of these things. You need to be so you can see, sister. So here's your more tip for today. Take one area of your life. Maybe it's your health and a result that you want. Maybe it's with your marriage. Maybe it's how you show up as a mom. Maybe it's within your business. That you think you have to have all the plans in place before you pull the trigger, right? You got to ready, set, aim, fire. And what you really just need to do is fire first. You need to take action. So number one, I want you then to say, where is this in my life where I need to do this? I need to be so I can see. I need to take action so I can understand. And the second part of this is, you know, I'd love to do this, sister. What is the one action step? So if you identified, so let's say, for example, if you said, hey, you know what? I want to lose weight. Actually, let's take a better example. I want to feel more connected with my husband. This is what so many of you reach out to me with. I did a podcast way back, which I talked about being married to my roommate, because that's how I used to be with my husband and I. And a lot of you connected with that and said, oh my God, me too, me too, me too. Hand up. Like, that's me. I'm married to my roommate. Love him, but we're like buddies. We're not lovers. We're not husband and wife anymore. Like, what the fuck happened? So let's say the example is I want to feel more connected with my husband, right? What is one action step you can take to do that? And by the way, you don't have to go and listen to my other podcast episodes or go back to listen to that one. You don't need to read another book. You don't need to come to my live event. Like, what is one action you can take today of you being, of you doing something, of you taking action, taking that one step forward that'll move you towards feeling more connected with your husband? Right? So one of the things that I teach my clients, I've taught this in webinars too, is to send a text message daily. Daily, of what you honor, appreciate, or love about your husband. Even when you don't feel like it. even when you're not feeling loving, appreciative, or feeling like you honor anything about him. It seems like something so simple, but it is huge, sister. It is one action step. So again, what is the one area of your life that you need to be before you can actually see it? What is that area? Identify that. And the second part of that, again, is what's one action step you can take? Because when you take the action, you'll begin to see. When you'll be, you can see, sister. When you be, you can see. So listen, if you don't already subscribe to the Women Wanting More newsletter, because there are now over, I think the average downloads is 2,300 per day. There's not that many of you on the newsletter. Like, what the fuck? I'm going to go there with you. What the fuck is wrong with you, sister? Like, newsletter, newsletter, newsletter. You are missing out there. Everything that I do, those that are in the Women Wanting More, what I call the tribe, the sisterhood, on the newsletter, you get that first. You get it first. You're also going to get my More For Action Guide, all sorts of cool stuff. And we're going to stay connected together, you and I, daily. Daily. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to head over to my site, drkarenosburn.com, drkarenosburn.com. You also see the link here. If you're listening off iTunes, you can click on the little eye that you see in the show notes. You get all this information, and you're going to see a pop-up that comes up. Me in a black top and an orange little thing says get the More For guide. Enter your name and email, and then you'll be subscribed. Okay, you're going to get that special gift. You're going to be connected with me daily, so you can get all the heads up, because I'll tell you right now, from Women Wanting More Live, which will be in June 2016, there will be early bird tickets and only so many. Okay? And they will be a freaking bargain. So if you don't get on the newsletter, you will not have access to that. So that's at drkarenosburn.com. Pop-up will come up right away. Enter your name and email, and you'll be all set up on the Women Wanting More newsletter, sisterhood, and tribe. So I will talk to you in the next episode, sister. A life of more is just one step away from you doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.